I'm even pissed off more, so with everything going on, as it relates to Bowe Bergdahl deserting during a time of war, and his fellow Americans lost their lives searching for him. And then we've got a Taliban leader, Mullah Omar, their spiritual leader, saying, quote, "We shall thank the Almighty for this great victory. The sacrifice of our mujahideen have resulted in the release of our senior leaders from the hand of the enemy."
We got one American back, but we gave up five of the senior-most leaders. Think about this. We have been for more than 10 years fighting in Afghanistan to dismantle this, and suddenly we put them now on home confinement with the opportunity to go home after that. Yeah.
1 year.
And by the way, when you saw those guys give them their hugs and then they're all happy, you didn't see them. They weren't having to go to the hospital and doing all these things. They were treated so nice.
They get 1.5 doctors for every prisoner, as we learned, and meanwhile, our own VA, there's, you know, one doctor for every 35 members of our military that was supposed to be taken care of, right? So, all right, let's go to this. The New York Post had a report this weekend in the Sunday paper, and that the days prior to his capture, that Bowe himself, the sergeant, wrote an email to his parents. Here's what he says: "I'm sorry for everything here. These people need help, yet what they get is the most conceited country in the world," if we can put it up there, "the most conceited country in the world telling them that they're nothing and that they're stupid." And then he goes on, "I'm ashamed to be an American, and the title of U.S. soldier is just the lie of fools. I'm sorry for everything. The horror that is America is disgusting." Should that influence our decision in negotiating?
We have a process, and you were supposed to consult with Congress. Congress was never consulted. That's what the president's saying. I hope those statements aren't true. I mean, we got American, I want to bring them home too. But to give up 5 Taliban, to take the senior-most leadership, I think the country is less safe than it was before this trade.
Yeah, what's going to happen when we have Americans die as a result of this? Okay, we'll get into this more deeply about the sergeant himself, but also about his father. He did, in fact, mention Allah and thank Allah at this Rose Garden ceremony. And he also sent out a tweet that he's, quote, "I'm still working to free all Gitmo prisoners. God will repay for the death of every Afghan child."
You know what? He's an American. I believe in his right to free speech. I may not agree with him, but he's from Idaho, and he wants to make those comments. You know, that's what we do in the United States. So what's different about the United States than everywhere else? But it does beg the question of why did we trade 5 for 1? Why did we give up 5 of the most senior leaders?
Let me talk about the president himself, because during the government shutdown, the president said he wouldn't negotiate during the shutdown. But yet, obviously, they're negotiating here. Let's look at the montage.
We're not going to negotiate under the threat of further harm to our economy and middle-class families. We're not going to negotiate under the threat of a prolonged shutdown until Republicans get 100% of what they want.
So what I've said to them is this: making sure that the United States government pays its bills, that's non-negotiable. I will not negotiate over Congress's responsibility to pay the bills it has already racked up. I don't know how to be more clear about this.
I will not negotiate over Congress's responsibility to pay the bills that have already been racked up.
I will not negotiate over the full faith and credit of the United States.
So he won't negotiate with you guys, but he negotiated with the Taliban through a third-party intermediary.
I work for the people of Utah. I represent them in the United States Congress. Try to get a meeting with the president to talk about something of substance in this country, to get jobs in the economy going again, fixing health care. Can't do it. But this president will negotiate with the terrorists. That's
right.
what's so...
So you've been following Benghazi. You argue we've been lied to about Benghazi, and they did it consciously. They say they haven't negotiated here, and they wouldn't negotiate. I think that's a lie. Then, of course, the lie about health care, keeping your doctor, keeping your plan, and saving money. We're being lied to an awful lot.
Yeah, well, they gave more than 2,000 AK-47s in Fast and Furious, and we can't seem to get the documents from the Department of Justice. I mean, you just keep going down the list, Sean. That list continues to grow and expand. And why not work with the Congress? Why not do what the law says you're supposed to do?
Well, why do I think if I broke the law, I'd be handcuffed, perp-walked, and mugshotted and they'd throw away the key?
Would he get past the debate with John McCain and Mitt Romney if he said he was going to negotiate with the Taliban, he was going to give the drug cartels 2,000 weapons, when Benghazi was happening, that none of the military would be on their way to Benghazi, if health care was going to, you know,
be a debacle?
It's just...
All right. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Coming up, It's the question that many want the answer to. Exactly who is Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl? Now, some are calling him a deserter. Coming up next, you're going to meet a Navy SEAL who actually went on 2 missions back in 2009 to try and recover Sergeant Bergdahl. Plus, we're going to get more reaction to the Taliban prisoner exchange. We'll check in with Colonel Allen West as this busy news night tonight on Hannity continues. Straight ahead.